Your hands together for her. She is a lady who's been doing a lot of roundup to make this conference a huge success. So let's have a huge round of applause for her.
The pointer. The presentation, please. Am I audible? The monitors are not working, Shiv. Good evening, everybody. Like the tail end of the canal, I'm the tail end of the speakers, and I must say that I'm awfully grateful to all of you for having the patience to listen to us, because we have this 2 days long deliberation reminds me of a song by Beatles. It's been a hard day's night and I've been working like a dog. It's been a hard day's night. I should be sleeping like a log. But when I come home to you and the things which you do makes me feel all right. I'm sure water must be feeling the same sense of, being more than all right after seeing all the great presentations that we've had, which makes us believe that water, future of water, and the Water Vision 2047 is in safe hands. The richness of the presentations, I'm sure, has given all of you enough food for thought and ignited our minds for a better water secure future. The best part of the conference has been that it has not been achievement focused. There have been no rhetorics, but there has been a bold acknowledgement of the challenges that we as water administrators face. Because what has come out is that water is deeply embedded in politics and in people. And it is not easy, most of the times, many of the presentations show, to impress people that they believe in us, that what, as administrators, you're doing is in their best interest. Because in India, we have been used to getting water as a free natural product. We have really not realized that it is not an infinite source which we, if we don't use judiciously, may end. Many presentations have highlighted these challenges. Some of them have been the development versus the ecology debate, the climate change versus the livelihood needs, the exemptions to be granted to agriculture for extraction of groundwater, the challenges which confront floodplain zoning, and also the imposition of water tariff. But, dear colleagues, what is success if it is without sweat? My whole team has been sweating for 2 days to achieve this success. So, I was walking today on the shores of the Mahabalipuram beach, and the message which the ocean gave me was that the smoothest sands are in the place which are hit most by the waves. So, we get chiseled when we are hit by political people, when we are hit by our own people, when we are hit by our colleagues. But I'm amazed at you getting hit and still delivering and still chiseling the water policy so that we deliver the best. Despite so many challenges of um, one of the two main features which has emerged is that there can be no one size fit all solution, because India is a land which is so vast and so varied that, positing one solution for everything would be foolhardy. Second is cross-sectoral approach is very much needed, which has also been highlighted in the presentation, because water knows no boundaries. And before Subodh kills me, I think I will come to presentation of the brief report and the takeaways. But before that, we are at the end, as Madam has directed, and as a loyal subordinate, we would like your feedback on the takeaways that we have been part of the conference. So with that, um, I begin my presentation. I'm sorry, everybody loves their own voice, so I was, trying to ensure that I don't miss the the sun, moment in the sun. So this we all know. I'll not go through that. We have congregated here to share the best practices and the action taken. And in the ministerial conference, one of the ideation which has come out of minister's speech, if you had heard it, that he wants an action group to take this agenda forward with the secretaries of the state on the focus areas. So we want you to volunteer to us for, continued dialogue on this issue. And for that, we have our email, and we would be very grateful to the state secretaries or even the engineer-in-chiefs or anybody who is part of the official machinery to volunteer, so that, we format this deliberation and we work more on the focus areas for the for the next years. So this is a serious request for you to volunteer on any of the focus areas in which you feel you can contribute, and it can be more than one. These are some of the glimpses of the event. I think I'll not pause on this. This is the publication curation, for which I would like to thank Anand Mohan and his team, Kushagra and others, who have worked day and night to bring before you 150 publications of the central government. But ma'am has suggested that we take it forward with states contributing to it. There is also ChatGPT there, and we are feeding it with questions so that, it can start answering more and more questions. States contribute. Maybe Rajiv Ranjan sir, it can become a repository for our traditional wisdom on water. So we will be taking this curation further. The round table of secretaries, I was just there with the startups, has been immensely enriching for me, because they have come out with so many suggestions. I cannot list so many of them here, but a few of the suggestion is asset mapping, asset monetization, considering water as an economic good, as an infrastructure. Because if it is not considered as an economic good, then many of the incentives from the government does not come to it. And the cycle of payment, they have requested to the state secretaries and the officials, that they face a lot of problem because they are startups in the payment cycle. So if that can be streamlined. So it has been beautifully curated by Kushvinder Voraji, who's our chairman, CWC, and he has assured that this is the first time they have done it, and they will take this roundtable conference forward. Of course, there was also a very good point, which to me, because was about the life cycle approach to a project and not, phasing of projects, which they was one point which I felt that was very good. Then the cultural event, we have showcased the rich Tamil culture yesterday with Karagattam, Mayulattam, and Devaratnam. Please, my apologies if my pronunciation is wrong. And then, of course, the five thematic sessions. So, on the five thematic sessions of climate resilience, water governance, water use efficiency, water storage and management, and people's participation, these are some of the draft takeaways which we feel have been highlighted in the conference. But we request all the secretaries after this session, after I stop speaking, to please give your suggestions or please send us to us in writing at md.nwm@gov.in. We will be finalizing it in 2-3 days. The first is, as I was discussing with Chairman CGWB yesterday, that water is not a contributor to climate change. We are the sufferers of climate change because we are not, except for paddy, perhaps we are not the greatest greenhouse emitters. But since we are sufferers, climate change is leading to, as all the presentations have said, is leading to a lot of extreme weather events such as floods and drought. And therefore, our infrastructure has to be climate resilience, and some of the important recommendations were about storages, interlinking of rivers, and from reservoir maintenance to sediment management in a life cycle approach. Also non-structural like floodplain zoning of Uttarakhand, early warning systems of Bihar, very important as important as structural measures. Then one point which is highlighted is, I may take the liberty to say that most of the states, because Honorable Minister emphasized on consensus, but water being so politically sensitive, we are very turf oriented and very brick and mortar oriented was one of the feeling which I had about the conference, where, we didn't get to hear much about the e-flow of the river. Because water is not just for humans, it is for the fishes, it is for the mountains, it is for the ecology. So this e-flow of the river, somewhere has to get into our psyche that we have to be more generous when we think about water. And we have to maintain the e-flow so that, ecology also is as relevant as humans. So the ecosystem is maintained. And then water quality also needs to be monitored. We saw from Prayag, real time, water quality has to be monitored. But and we have to use state-of-art technology for short and long-term weather prediction and its impact on water resources. We also have to apply that technology in the current and future of the project designs of the water management design. That is one thing which came out very clearly, that we have to apply newer technology. We cannot become complacent. Then in water governance, the important takeaway was that water management needs to be strengthened through integrated governance of both surface and groundwater, and through perhaps a single organizational structure. So there is this request that water resource regulatory authority in the states need to be implemented, not just for groundwater, but also for surface water. And state water policy, I think around 16 states have adopted the national water policy. If that can be formulated on the national water policy, then what came out clearly was that river basin has to be the unit of planning. And evidence-based data management through setting up of the state water informatics system. Many of the states have done that. And the most difficult of all, which the CEOs of the startups have said, is rationalizing water tariff mechanism, because water, is considered a free good, uh, with and not an economic good. So that behavior change has to come, that water is an economic good for which a price has to be paid. Then adoption of measures for circular economy was another thing which was highlighted, like the framework we have developed in MOJS that would help if it is replicated by the states. Then on water use efficiency, we have set up the Bureau of Water Use Efficiency, but the focus, most of the presentations highlighted the focus on demand side management of mitigating water wastage. The first was that efficient utilizing of existing project uh, is as important as development of new projects, and use of micro irrigation for reducing the IPC and IPU gap. And we are also requesting that World Bank is doing this irrigation project benchmarking. So if states may indicate their interest in water counting and benchmarking initiatives, which is also needed, there should be more convergence of the major and minor irrigation initiatives. And piped irrigation network, was highlighted by many. In fact, prevention is better than cure. Many of those, many of our reservoir systems, our canal systems can do waste more water. But if we change to piped irrigation network, it does lead to a lot of water use efficiency. And then another thing which was highlighted was incentivization to farmers for adopting cropping pattern. Punjab very clearly, boldly acknowledged that switching over from paddy was not so easy. Just even if we just give MSP, unless we address the whole ecosystem, but still through in the water users associations, we've seen that incentivizing really helps in building ownership. And Manish of Madhya Pradesh pointed out that Government of India should, if we have to switch to PIN, or if we have to, use PIN more by the states, then Government of India must accelerate work on the CAD scheme reforms. On water storage and management, as we know, in view of the spatial and temporal variation and the scarcity and erratic pattern of rainfall, which was highlighted by many, it is very important that we enhance our storage capacities through both the large and small storage projects. Some of the examples were regular dredging, and other operation and maintenance came out as a major takeaway. And prevention is better than cure. So I think, for me, catchment area treatment for sediment management is so important. Trenching and some other, there were so many technical words. As a lame person, I am not able to understood, but what I understood was, if we can prevent the damage before the sediment settles in the dam, it would be so much more better through afforestation measures, through you know uh, other measures which have been highlighted, and interventions such as buffer storage tanks, snow harvesting, land reclamation, which I think MOJS presented, use of barren lands, were some of the measures which were highlighted in water storage. And artificial recharge to groundwater has to be taken up on a large scale. In fact, many of the cities have mandated rainwater harvesting structures, but it is being followed in its breach. And of course, interlinking of rivers, but then for me, it's with the caution of not disturbing the natural eco flow, and but it is very important because it can really uh, feed the water scarce areas, but it should be done judiciously and without hurting the ecology. Last but not the least, as the special secretary from UP says, that the days of people participation in water is over. It should not be called people's participation, but it should be called people-led movement of water management. Because as we have seen, that if you diffuse technology to the local level, if you handhold them, if you build their capacity, then they can really deliver. The example of West Bengal, Kerala, Assam, Meghalaya all show that people-led movements, that people are no fools, they understand technology. And so they can really deliver if, we mobilize community, especially through the Panchayati Raj institutions. Here I would say that, one of the countries which has, left India behind in economic progress, I was reading, is very federated at is very centralized at the central level, but is very, very federated at the lower level, with the mayors having lots of powers. But here, the PRIs need to be empowered, and empowered, they should lead. The PRI should lead, and stakeholder involvement at every stage of capacity building is the need of the hour. Young minds to be involved for fresh idea and youthful energy. Jaldoot experiment. We will take it up with the Ministry of Education if it can become part of the curriculum, because it really showcases that if you allow the younger generation to get sensitized, half your work is done. And when planning is done from bottoms up, with people getting involved at every stage of the design of the technology, then it really does make a difference. And it is people for who really do make a difference to an integrated water management system, which is the last takeaway of our. But these are just draft takeaways. If you need to say anything, ma'am has said that we would like your feedback. In case in case any of the secretaries would, or any of you would like to include anything in the draft takeaways, then please say so now, or you can also send that at md.nw at gov.in. Thank you. Is Now we are open to one or two suggestions as feedback. Please feel free to say what has been the design flaw in the conference, what are the topics which we could have included, what is the what are the takeaways which we have missed, what is the content which could have been better. If anybody likes to say, I would request Sunil and my team, Bhupesh and all, to note it. Yes, please speak your name. Please give him a mic. Because you see, everybody is getting a little agitated, and already I took half an hour because I was asked to ensure that, the takeaways is presented.
Hello. Yeah. My name is Rohan Jain. I am from the Art of Living. I would have loved to hear about this reuse and recycle in villages. It was focused on metropolitan or something. So the success stories or some models in that would have been very good to know.
So anyway, within you can please mail us at md.nwm@gov.in, and in the end, I think we cannot end without a thunderous round of applause for Sandeep Saxena sir for so graciously, agreeing to host this conference. And he has been so silent. He has been a great silent support, because of which, we have been able to make this conference a great success. And thank you all for your patience. Until we meet next time, please do send your suggestions.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so very much. This valedictory session couldn't have been much impactful as of this. So let's hear it for Archana ma'am one more time, please. Thank you so much, ma'am. And with this, I would like to thank you all. And when we say that this water sector, this has to be given enough of the focus. I can only say one thing to all of you, that जब मन बना लिया ऊंची उड़ान का. I know Archana ma'am have been telling me that you have to keep the artist inside you very low, but now I can say that, ma'am, with all your permission. जब मन बना लिया ऊंची उड़ान का, तो फिजूल है देखना कद आसमान का. So I would like to request you all, just give it your 200%, because you are the people who can make this country, this humanity better, better and better. Thank you so much. This is Shilpa Bhavna signs off. And to the land of Tamil Nadu, I can only say, Uncle Annai Burukum Nanari. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.